Hey, it's Dr. Toby here. In this video, I want to talk about how to lose body fat and how to become fit consistently so that you not only lose weight, but you keep it off. And I want to help you understand two of the important ingredients that you're probably already aware of, but there's a third that most people don't realize is what's responsible for why they can lose body fat and keep it off and live a fit life consistently where they're eating healthy and exercise on a regular basis. So most people are already familiar with the fact and the idea that, well, you have to eat a healthy diet as well as exercise regularly. And what does a healthy diet consist of? Most people get confused and struggle with all the different kinds of diets that exist out there, and they want to find one that's sustainable, that they actually enjoy, but actually helps them to lose the weight. And if you want one just like that, you can hit the link in our description. We actually have a free meal plan that we give out. It's actually the same exact meal plan that people in our program use to lose 50, 10s, 20, 30s, hundreds of pounds even using this meal plan. And it gives you guidance and structure that is a very natural meal plan. There's no fad, crazy diet. So check that out. But most people are aware of the fact they have to eat healthy consistently and then also exercise regularly in order to lose weight. And the kind of exercise that you want to be able to do to lose weight and to keep it off is weight training so that you can build muscle, because building muscle is going to help accelerate and speed up your metabolism, especially because your metabolism slows down as you get older, especially once you hit the age of 30. Your metabolism is going to slow down and it's going to cause you to lose more muscle mass, and that's going to cause you to gain more weight easy. And that's why most people find that at a certain age, they start to gain weight. Now, a lot of people wonder, like, well, how do I do that consistently, eating healthily and also exercising? Well, the biggest thing that you have to do that most people miss out on, which is responsible for you not only losing belly fat, but maintaining it and living a fit life consistently, is changing your mindset. Your mindset is the number one and most important thing that you should actually prioritize in order for you to be able to lose weight. And this is very important. The reason why your mindset is so critical is because your body will never do what your mind is not convinced of. So most people are confused about why they're not behaving in a certain way consistently. Well, you can't behave in a certain way if your mind does not believe that that's the way you should be living, or that it's sustainable, or that it's suitable for you. Now, think about it this way. You can't be what you can't see. And so one of the things that you can do to change your mindset, change how you see yourself, is you have to start seeing something different in your life. You have to start exposing yourself to things like testimonials. Exposing yourself to the testimonies of people who've actually been able to hit the goals and achieve the things that you desire to achieve. In fact, when you begin to hear about the testimonies of others, that's going to help you, especially when you hear people's testimonies that have been able to hit goals that you're not even trying to hit. So for example, maybe someone who's weighs more than you do and has lost more weight than you want to. Maybe you're like, hey, I'm trying to lose 20, 30, 40 pounds. This person lost 50, 60 pounds. That's going to give you encouragement, because you're like, well, I don't even, have to, do as much as they did or get to as far as they did, in terms of the weight loss journey. But you do need something that they did acquire, which is a new mindset. And I always say that a changed life, or a changed mind, is a down payment for a changed life. So if you want to change your life, don't focus on trying to change behaviors, because if you want something different, you have to be something different. And if you want to be something different or someone different, you have to see something different. And so one of the things you want to first do is start listening to testimonials. When you listen to testimonials, this is going to help you a lot. Now, why is this important? Well, how you see yourself determines how much weight you're actually going to be able to lose and your ability to keep that weight off. Now, let me explain that. You see, what you tell yourself about yourself determines what you're going to be willing to do in order to get and become the person that you want to become. And so if you tell yourself that, well, this is going to be too difficult, this is going to be too hard, and maybe you're just like, man, fitness is not for me, I'm not really an active person, or I don't really have the energy, all those things. What you tell yourself about yourself determines what you're going to do with yourself. And so you have to start telling yourself new information. The first way that you want to start doing this is by hearing something different. So you have to start listening to testimonials. Number two, you want to start leveraging the experiences of others. Leverage the experience of others, not just by hearing the testimonials, but leverage new environments. Come into new environments, get around people, join programs where people are actually moving toward those goals, so that you can begin to see, wow, this person is actually, doing something that I typically might not find myself doing, which is exercising regularly or posting themselves exercising or working out in this community or in this group, right? Leverage new environments, because one of the reasons why people are stuck in their mindset is because they are around the same kind of people. And this is why the whole gym partner accountability system doesn't really work, right? Most people want to have accountability, by a gym partner who's actually struggling with the same thing that they're also struggling with. But the difficulty with that is you're in an environment that's only going to reinforce the same things you already know, the same limitations and the same challenges, without having new solutions to the same problem that you've been struggling with for a long period of time. So how do you begin to see yourself differently? You have to, number one, start listening to testimonies. Number two, leverage new environments, get around new people, and start hearing something different than what you've currently been used to hearing, whether it's from your family or from people who maybe have the same kind of challenges that you've been struggling with. Now, this is so important. What you tell yourself about yourself is the thing that's determining what you're doing with yourself every single day. So whether you choose to eat junk food or whether you choose to stay consistent in eating the way that you're currently eating, that's based on what you tell yourself. Maybe you tell yourself that it's too expensive. Maybe you tell yourself all these different things. But ultimately, it's how you see yourself that determines what you become. I always say this. It's always going to come down to what you believe, because what you believe determines what you're going to be willing to live. And what you're willing to live determines how you behave. And how you behave determines what you have. And what you have is going to determine what you become and who you become. So you have to understand that if you start to change how you think about yourself, that's going to be the key thing here. So first, we want to listen to testimonies. We want to leverage the new environments. And then we want to let go of old identity statements. Statements like, well, I've always been on the bigger side. I've always been, big boned, or it runs in my family, all of those things. Now, while there may be some facts to that, what you are doing subconsciously when you tell yourself that, or tell yourself some of those thoughts, is what you're saying is that there's something that's always been out of your control that has determined the thing that you want to control right now. And so you want to control that, but you're subconsciously telling yourself that it's always been outside of your control. So there's nothing that you're going to be able to do to control or to change the fact that you're on the bigger side or this, that, or the third. Now, instead of telling yourself that, you can tell yourself this. You have to rework those new mindsets, let go of the old identity statements, right? Identify them first. So what are those old identity statements where you identify your current condition as just who you are and how you've always been? Well, I've always been this way. I've always been on the bigger side. I've always struggled with eating. I've always had a problem with eating. Now, while there may be truth to that, while there may be some fact to that, that is not the only reality that you want to experience or you want to live from. You want to begin to say, well, even though I've maybe always been on the bigger side, I wasn't aware of the things that were in my control that could help me to produce the body and the life that I wanted. I wasn't aware that there were things I could actually do to help myself move and be in shape and be the fit, healthy kind of individual that I wanted to be, right? And so part of what's going to happen is when you've already begun to see from people's testimonies that they've gone from being maybe on the bigger side or gone from being maybe similar in the same condition that you have to being in a new position, what that's going to do is going to build faith and courage in you to start doing things differently. And the way that you're going to make that journey, like the other individuals did, like from those testimonies, going from being maybe not at the weight that you want to be to being at the weight that you do want to be, what's going to help you from there is when you start to hear those things and identify what are the mindsets inside of me that keep me from changing my action and changing my behaviors. So this is very essential. It's super critical. Now, once you start letting go of those old identity statements, what's going to happen from there is you're going to be able to have new identity statements. So instead of telling yourself, well, I've always been big or I've always been on the bigger side, we'll say, okay, cool. Even though I've naturally tended to be on the bigger side, there are things that I can do right now to actually change that, because there are other people who've been able to do the same thing. So we have experiences based on our expectation. And when you can change your expectation because you've seen other people have a transformation, that's going to give you new expectations, and you're going to be able to have new experiences where you can begin to see yourself as someone who is fit and healthy, who's someone who's active and, able to burn that body fat and to lose weight consistently, but not just lose the weight, but to maintain it and keep it off. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, leave a like and leave a comment in the comment sections and let us know what was most helpful about this video for you. Share this with a loved one, because mindset is everything. If you start exposing yourself even to content like this, where you can begin to hear things and think about things differently, right? Maybe your mindset or your identity statement that you need to let go of is that, well, I'm not really an active person, right? Well, you have to change that mindset and let go of that idea that you're not an active person, right? Maybe you just change your mindset and say, well, I haven't found the kind of physical activity that I enjoy the most, that makes me alive, that gives me the most energy, right? So you have to change the old identity statements that we place on ourselves because that is already programming in us to tell us what we should and should not do, what we can and can't do, because that's not who we are. But if you would be willing to live something different because you believe something different, then you can have something different and you'll behave differently, and then you'll become someone who is different. So start working on your mindset. Start by detecting what are some of those old identity statements. Listen to some of the testimonials of other individuals. Start leveraging new environments by hearing and being around new people, and let go of those old identity statements as you detect them, and start replacing them with new ones. And you'll see the transformation, and the success will be permanent as you lose weight, get in shape to be the best and healthiest version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can stay up to date on all the videos we make to help you stay healthy, pain-free, fit, and mobile. And I'll see you in the next video.